Hello. For this station, we are going to practice multiplying decimal numbers together. So once again, you'll see your stack of cards, and if you don't have a stack, you may have a list of numbers on a Google Doc or a printout, or you may have a list of numbers printed on the sides of a dice or cube. However you have your numbers, you're going to pick two of them. If it's a dice, roll it, and then roll it twice, so you have two numbers to pick from, and then you're going to multiply those two numbers together. It doesn't matter which two, it doesn't matter in any order. There is no special order with multiplication. Just pick two numbers at random, say that one and this one, and we're going to try multiplying them together. Now, how do we multiply instead of add or subtract or divide? These are all different skills, and you have to treat them a little differently. So with multiplication, unlike addition and subtraction where you would line up decimals, if you remember with addition and subtraction, you line them up. The decimals have to be lined up if you're adding or subtracting. But if you are instead multiplying, you're just going to push your numbers over to the right side. You can almost imagine like there's a wall on the side. And sometimes I actually draw a line to pretend like there's a wall I'm pushing them over to. And you're going to fill in the digits up against the wall, wherever the decimal is. It doesn't matter if the decimal is here or here. Wherever the decimal is, you don't care. It doesn't matter. So we're going to fill in our decimals. Again, they're not lined up. We don't mind if they're not lined up. We're just trying to push the digits against the wall. Put our multiplication symbol in, and we're just going to do multiplication like we would always do multiplication. It's, at this point, no different than any other multiplication problem. Again, we can ignore that the decimals even exist for now. So let's do our multiplication. Pause for a second, actually, if you want to try finishing this multiplication problem on your own, and then meet me at the end when I explain where we put our decimal in the answer. Okay, so what is 6 times 5? 30. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 9. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3, 15. I'm just talking out what we're doing. We're on the second line here. We're going to add a 0 before we do our next set of multiplication steps. 1 times 5 is 5. 0, 6, and 2. Again, this is just the same as multiplication. You already know how to do this, but here's the difference. Once we add these together at the bottom, there's going to be a slight difference in our final answer. All the digits are correct, but we are not done, because if we only left this number as you see it, this would say 41,740. But 2 and something plus or times 1 and something is clearly not going to be this big of a number. So where do we put our decimal? How do we know where to put it? Well, this is a fairly straightforward step. All you have to do is count the number of digits that are after your decimal. So we have 1 digit over here, and we're going to count and add that to whatever number of digits are up here as well. So 1, 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits total are at the right side of their decimals. There's 1 here and 3 here for a total of 4. And so we're going to take the decimal in our answer and we're going to move it that number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4. For a final answer, and I always like to write my answer on the side of the page and circle it, is 4 and 174 thousandths. Let's try one more example. We're just going to pick 2 more cards, or 2 new numbers on the dice, whatever you have in front of you. Random number and random number. You may have different numbers than you see here. You may have larger numbers than you see here. This is just what I happen to have. So we don't care about lining up the decimals. We're just going to write down our numbers against an invisible wall. In this case, they actually have the same number of digits, so they will actually line up. But that is totally by accident. It does not have to actually line up like this. For example, if we had this number, then we would be way out here with our number. Doesn't have to be lined up, just happens to in this example. You can pause the video if you like and try this on your own, the whole thing. Okay. We're just going to solve it really quickly. We're on a third line now, so we're going to add 2 zeros first. And this is the main skill of the day. Where do we put our decimal? Pause the video if you like. If you got this far but you're not sure what to do, pause the video, ask a friend at your table, and see if you can figure it out. Okay, so we're going to count the total number of digits that occur after the decimal, or how many digits are to the right of the decimal on each of our first numbers. We have 2 here and 2 here. So 4 total digits to the right of our decimals. We're going to move our decimal in our answer, yes, that many times. For a final answer, again, writing our answer on the side of our page and circling it, of 2 and 809 thousandths. Okay.